We're back with the fire element, my favorite because it happens to be my vital element. And you can tell I'm a little fiery. My vital element, from a Feng Shui master's perspective, is the element that brings all my 5 elements into balance and harmony. So the vital element is something I utilize often in my consultations with you, where I bring the personal information from your chart, these 5 elements we're discussing, into the space and bring you what you say you want. Let's dive into fire. Fire element is from May 6th to August 7th. So it's going to be connected to the summertime in season. And these dates may vary by 1 or 2, but most years it's May 6th through August 7th. If you were born during this time of the year, you have fire element for your season of birth. That plays a big role in your natal chart in how all of the elements work together. The reminder of why this wheel is over here is this is my wheel of the 5 elements. Water starts at the top. Water feeds wood. Wood feeds fire. Fire then feeds the earth. Earth then feeds the metal. Then we have the destructive cycle of water putting out the fire, fire melting the metal, metal chopping the wood, and wood breaking the ground of the earth with its roots. These are the cycles of the elements. There's one more, but for today, those 2 will do. If you were born in this season of fire element, the summer, you may be courageous, zealful, love, joyful. Fire is very dynamic. It loves having people around. It needs a host, the wood, the oxygen. So fire likes to be a little bit theatrical. When I see a fire person, they might be involved in theater, the creatives, a musician. They like to be on stage. Why? Because it's connecting with others. That's why I can be a little fiery. Optimistic. Oh, that's from wood season. Holy moly. But you're still optimistic and youthful. Courage, zeal, and love are your main characteristics. If you're in an imbalanced state, what happens to these characteristics? It can become hyperactivity, impulsiveness, or confusion. So when we're not in the balanced state, these are the things that can come up. If this is the case in an imbalanced state and we're hyper, what would be the next thing for the body is going to be that hypertension. So people with an imbalance of fire could have high blood pressure. The body parts connected to fire are going to be the heart, the triple heater. That's the whole kind of circulatory system in the body. Season is summer. When we're looking at fire element from a Feng Shui perspective, I'm looking at the top 3 things. The direction is south. The colors are reds and purples. And the shape is triangular. The strongest shape in nature is the triangle. So fire becomes a very strong element. But remember how I said on the last video, water can be very strong because of its vulnerability and its consistency. So all of the elements have their strengths and weaknesses just like we do. And they're all both sides of the same coin. We embrace all the parts of ourselves. If we're looking at the clock, this fire element is connected to noon. The horse, which is fire, an element, is connected to noon on the clock. So in this case, fire becomes related on the timeline of noon, and water would be midnight, the opposite of that, right? You see how they're opposite? Let's read a little bit from my notes here. Mental states, courtesy, courage, zeal, love, joy. These are the positive states of fire when it's in a balanced state. Hyperactivity, confusion, impulsiveness. We talked about that. Parts of the body that can be even more connected to this. These are your top 3, but you also have small intestines. The tongue, regulatory of the digestive system, right? The warmth of the upper, middle, and lower regions of the torso. The weather is hot and heat. That's why it's connected to the summer. The flavor is bitter. So if one had a fire imbalance, I might be asking you to eat some bitters. Food becomes part of the Chinese medicine, which is connected to the Feng Shui, which is connected to the astrology. We are all connected, as is the modalities that I teach and work with you on. Everything, everything, everything. From Raphael's book, this is the Feng Shui Step by Step, my teacher and master. He has some things he said here that I think are poignant. Fire loves to rise and shine in life. Love itself is vital to fire's happiness. You may also be artistically inclined. We discussed that. Your home should be a place of beauty and warmth, not necessarily a place in which to entertain all the time, as you also love your privacy. Let me explain. I know fire loves a host, it loves oxygen, it loves wood, but fire can burn itself out if it over socializes. And there we get connected to the morphology of the sun. The oval face is the sun morphology, and it too has the qualities of the fire. So you can see how even face reading starts to connect with all the elements as well. I love how everything's connected because we're all connected. Your home should be a place of beauty and warmth, a place to entertain. Positive states and negative states, we discussed that. Regulatory of the digestive system. Imbalance of fire is associated with physical and emotional conditions. Fever can be connected to fire. Heart disease, high blood pressure, poor circulation, coldness of the extremities, that's circulatory issue, which is connected to the digestion. Fire is also the year we're heading into. We are leaving the element of wood. So you can see that even the elements, not only do they have a season, sometimes they have a whole year. Next year will be the year of Fire Horse, the year I turn 60. It's a big year in Chinese astrology because every 60 years, your element is married with your earth branch, and mine comes around next year, a very auspicious year. I think fire is going to be a very dynamic year next year. We're going to go from this wood snake of kind of placidity, trying to make up its mind, sowing its seeds, taking in all the decision making, to fast-moving fire horse, where we won't be able to sometimes get our arms around how fast the energy is moving. So this is why the great yin season between November 7th and February 4th is a great time to go within, because come February 16th, the year of the fire horse, you better have eaten your Wheaties, because next year is taking off like a rocket. Hope you enjoyed this session on fire element, one of my favorites.